Welcome back to another video. It is Tuesday evening. It's 10 to 4. I'm not gonna lie, I am nervous for tonight's session, which is kind of why I'm putting off a little bit. But I am literally gonna film this intro and then go out there and kind of get set up, ready to train. Got very heavy squats. Well, not very heavy squats. The planned top set isn't anything crazy heavy. It's just enough that I know I'm gonna have to actually work hard. And it shouldn't be super like top end or anything, but it's going to be hard. And it's whether or not I have the energy to put the effort into that. But I'll be fine once I get started, and I know I will. Huge update. So currently main focus with my training and nutrition and kind of that, well, everything really is getting leaner, losing body weight, sitting in the weight class. That is the priority, alongside obviously just kind of getting my strength back, getting myself back to peak strength and above where I used to be, feeling like the old me again in terms of the competitor in me and getting that side of me back. So big update on the bodyweight front. So I had my nutrition check-in yesterday with my coach, and she basically said, we're not going to change your calories. I was supposed to be going out for a meal one day this week, but I don't think I am anymore. So essentially I've been dropping quite quickly, and in theory probably need to put my calories up. But if I was going out for a meal this week, I'd probably then go over one of those days. And essentially that was going to be like my little refeed before my heavy sessions this week, because today's session and Saturday's session I am not excited for, because Saturday's SBD is going to be, I mean, it's already a hell of a lot of volume, but it's also going to be heavy. So it's just going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of work, but obviously that's fine. And I think at the minute I'm a little bit under recovered, and I just need to kind of prioritize rest this week. And then by Saturday, hopefully my motivation to work hard will actually be back, because currently it's non-existent. But what I was actually going to say was my body weights, we get my calories the same, 2,200. I have quite kind of said to myself, not to my nutrition coach, that for today's session, if I needed it, I would allow myself extra carbs and go over a little bit over my 2,200 calories, because I'm not going out for meals, so it'll kind of keep me in a deficit. But actually, everything I've tracked, I should end up around 2,200 still anyway. And then Saturday, if I feel like I'm still feeling quite low energy, I need a bit of extra recovery, then probably Friday night, because I'm hoping to train in good time Saturday, I'll just have a slightly larger dinner. And that will then obviously carry over, keep me fueled, ready for my Saturday, and I'll have my normal pre-workout food and stuff Saturday morning. But we will see. I'll obviously just go by how I feel. All of that to say, massive drop in body weight. Yesterday morning, I think I was 85.9. At the weekend, I saw an 85.6 on Sunday. Usually Sundays are my lightest day of the week. And like the weekend, I normally see a big drop Saturday and Sunday anyway, just because stress levels are down, sleep a little bit better, that sort of thing. Guys, I dropped to 85.3 today, way ahead of schedule. Huge, huge drop. Granted, I'm expecting it to kind of inflate back up a little bit the next couple of days, especially with like heavy training volume and stuff that generally I'll retain a little bit more. And also major, like, it's so warm here again today and tomorrow, so that will also cause me to retain a little bit more. But yeah, 85.3 is current body weight, which is very low, very happy with it. I feel really good in myself, feel healthy. The only thing I'm struggling with is just my energy levels are still super low. But I'm just gonna do what I can with it, and I'm sure I'll be fine once I kind of get started. But I think that's the only real update. Nothing else to really go over, at least for the time being. So I'm gonna stop talking and get myself ready to train.
Okay. I see across the room, X marked on the spot, everybody tryna zoom. This is casual, another night with the wolves, but how should be dealing with them? She's a damn professional. Making plays for, don't need to be told, yeah she knows. Got these fellas down bad and everybody else mad. Adrenaline rush, leaving them in the dust, now they converting the stands. The world is in her hands now, she's living in my head rent free, burning through my long-term memory. Everybody racing in a Grand Prix, they know if they don't take a chance now. Feeling stay woke, no sleep, run it back real slow, was that a wing? She's cold as ice, sugar-coated lies with the honey trap eyes. She's dangerous, she's dancing with intention. She's got everyone's attention, she knows she's dangerous. They wanna get a number on a roulette. Tryna find an opening, roll the dice, cold sweat, running.
Okay, so squats didn't go to plan. Multiple reasons, I think, as to why. And I'm trying to just kind of move past it and not really kind of care, because using my logical kind of coachy brain, we all have days where things don't show up as well as we want them to. Previous me thinks I'm indestructible, and I think that is a gift when it comes to my lifting as the athlete. Like, I do think I'm indestructible. I do think things won't impact me. And I essentially don't allow myself the opportunity to have bad sessions. But obviously, We all do, like it's normal. And it wasn't necessarily a bad session. It just wasn't what I wanted. Warming up, I felt good. And my last one was 155. And basically the planned top set of 6 today was at 165 to 167.5, which is obviously only a tiny range. But had I felt really bad, I would have just taken 160 or 162. But I kind of knew warming up 155 was my last warm up when I was like, no, this feels super good. My movement pattern feels strong. I didn't necessarily feel like everything was super quick, but it all felt easy. So I was like, 167 for 6, it's going to suck, but it's going to be fine. When I unracked it, felt fine. And then actually, as I set my feet, they were definitely a little bit too narrow. And I didn't really think too much of it in the moment because I think now that I'm sitting a bit lighter, usually when I'm sitting this light, I do find narrower better. But I think just with the muscle development I've been getting from the new accessory work and stuff that I've been putting in for my lower body development, actually ever so slightly wider is stronger for me now because I just have more muscle recruitment available essentially. And yeah, I just felt like my movement pattern was awful. Like I didn't feel stacked. I didn't feel solid. Everything just felt off. And I can't really express that. And I don't think it probably shows that well in the video. I haven't seen this camera angle that I filmed on here because I just use my phone obviously as well. And the phone is what I watch back until I edit these videos. But the movement pattern felt awful. And I got to 4 and I was like, I braced, ready to do the 5th rep. And I just didn't trust myself to get it, which is also unlike me. But I was like, no, let's just re-rack it. It's fine. Let's just re-rack it. So I re-racked it. Normally, if you fail a top set or you don't hit the goal on the top set, you do not retake it. You just move on. You just move on. Don't worry about it. Put it behind you, move on. I can't take my own advice, obviously. So I went to take it again. And my setup on the second set attempt was way better. My feet were just like a couple of inches wider. I felt way better in terms of positioning. Everything felt solid, but I just gassed out really quickly, which is exactly what happened in my sessions at the weekend as well. Saturday and Sunday, I just felt like my energy levels were just depleting pretty quickly, especially Sunday on my accessory session. Like I'm shocked how weak I felt. And I think there are multiple reasons as to why. So last week I was ill. I mentioned it in last week's videos. I was ill. I was unwell. I don't know exactly what was wrong with me, but I had no energy the entirety of last week. And then towards the end of the week, I just felt ill. I felt stuffy. I felt kind of blocked. I had a bit of a sore throat. Like I just didn't feel well in myself. And then over the weekend, I kind of felt more normal in myself, but recovery between sets during my training wasn't there and energy levels were low. Like I had a massive nap Sunday afternoon, for example. So I definitely wasn't quite right. And I feel like today my recovery is also down. Like when I'm actually in between sets, I'm not recovering. That's why I think the second attempt at that top set, I gassed out so fast. I just didn't feel fresh. So why is that? I think partly just recovering from being unwell, the fact that I'm in a deficit whilst also recovering from being unwell. I don't think a deficit alone is the actual reason for it. Like it'd be really easy for me to sit here and go, oh no, my body weight's dropping super quickly and my calories are low and I'm doing more steps than normal. So that's why this is all going badly. No, because actually I've been feeling really, really good. I'm also covered in chalk. My recovery has been really good for the most part until this last week when I got ill. So I'm not actually thinking it is that. Do I think I potentially need more calories for this heavy week? Yes, probably. But I'm just going to kind of adapt as needed. I mentioned earlier, I will potentially have a little bit more calories Friday, Saturday. If I feel awful tomorrow, like I'm just like super low on energy as well, I will speak to my nutrition coach and actually just get her input because realistically, I'm dropping way ahead of schedule anyway. That's not a bad thing because it means that we can essentially get back to maintenance a little bit sooner or even sit more comfortably in the class than we expected to be possible. So if that happens, great, bonus. And actually, the reason I don't think it's the deficit either is because my calories aren't that low. 2,200 for me is not a ridiculously low amount of calories. Like my maintenance, when I ended up actually creeping up, was 2,400. I just wasn't doing as many steps. So actual food volume and everything isn't that bad. Like, yes, I think last week my hunger levels were pretty high, but again, I think that's because I was unwell and my body was just kind of trying to fight everything off. But yeah, there's a number of factors that could be influencing squats not feeling amazing, but it is what it is. I'm not going to kind of worry over it, panic over it. I think potentially we just pace things a little bit slower next block. I'm going to just kind of see how the rest of this week unfolds and obviously make plans for the next 6-week period of training. But yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to literally put it behind me. Don't know how I'm going to feel for bench. My neck is still feeling a little bit off. I'm not going to lie. It's been a couple of weeks now, which has just made bench feel a bit awkward at the weekend. Bench didn't feel good at all. So just going to kind of see, potentially retake last week's weight. I think last week was a bit of an overshoot anyway. So I'm not really going to aim for anything crazy ambitious today. I'm going to probably just focus more so on execution and probably undershooting a little bit. But we'll see. Also, just excuse the hair scrape back. The other thing I didn't mention as well that I think may have had a bit of an impact is that I've moved my lower body accessories to a Sunday from a Saturday. So I've literally had one day between lower body accessories and today's session. So normally I would have two, and I think that's obviously better recovery overall, an whole extra day of recovery. Whereas this week I'm kind of adapting to that as well. So I think that's also something really important to pay attention to. The reason I decided to just do that before the end of the block rather than waiting until the new block and kind of starting during like a lighter week is just because I don't need to be strong right now. And I think that's why I'm kind of quite relaxed about the fact that squats didn't feel amazing, is because this is not when I'm supposed to feel really strong. I do feel like mentally I'm just not as, I don't want to say driven because I am. I just don't have that fight in me on those heavier rep sets at the moment that I used to have. And that is something I'm really trying hard to find again and to get back. But again, I don't need that right now. And also I think with the heat, I'm just struggling because actually when I look back at my craziest rep sets and stuff, it was always during the winter when I was just wrapped up and like, yeah, I don't know. I think I struggle in the heat as it is. So that's probably not helping either. But yeah, I just think I should also mention the fact that I will also still be recovering from Sunday's lower accessories, which usually I would do on a Saturday. So that's a whole extra day of rest that I've then not got for my lower body before I then do this squat session.
Down my neck, she be on the next victim. Get caught in a web, got these fellas spending all they got left. She be keeping the score like a follow ratio. Got these fellas praying to the Lord for a glimpse of any hope. She bad, she broke, straight unpredictable, straight irresistible. She got me in a slow. She's living in my head rent free, burning through my long-term memory. Everybody racing in a Grand Prix. They know if they don't take a chance now, then it's stay woke, no sleep. Run it back real slow, is that a win? She's cold as ice, sugar-coated lies with the honey trap eyes. She's dangerous. She's dancing with intention. She's got everyone's attention. She's dangerous. They wanna get a number on a roulette.
Okay, so I don't think anyone that knows me or has watched me for a while will be surprised that I did not stick to my word and take my 3 counts easy. That 105 was supposed to be a triple. I did 2 reps, 3 counts. To be fair, actually pausing it on my chest felt pretty solid for once. Like the last couple of weeks, it's not felt that good. So I'm not too mad. And I then just went up to 110 for a single anyway, and it was fine. I think I just have to accept that I'm just gassing out really early. And the only reason I loaded the 105 was because my last warm-up at 100 felt really comfortable. But again, I'm just kind of running out of energy really quickly. So I'm not going to stress over it. My last press surprised me. So I retook the same load as last week for my 6. And I did 95 last week. And I remember it being hard, which is why I retook it this week. It felt easier. Yeah, I failed the last rep. And when I tell you, I was very surprised I failed it. Like the 5th rep felt like work, but not enough work that I didn't have another rep. But again, I'm just gassing out really quickly. I then did 2x5 at 85, not 2x5, 2x6 at 85, which is the same load as last week as well. And that was fine. I'm just going to write it off, is what it is. I still got some productive work in, and that's the most important thing. It's not the end of the world. Like, it's nothing to cry about, nothing to stress over. It just wasn't my strongest day, but I think there's plenty of reasons as to why that could be. I think I need to really prioritize, but I am prioritizing recovery anyway. I don't want it to sound like I've been neglecting that, because I actually haven't. I definitely overworked myself a little bit, maybe the last couple of weeks, but last night I was in bed really early and I was like reading quite early in bed and stuff. And I've been trying to like switch off, get some good sleep. Like I say, Sunday I had a really long nap and stuff as well. So I just have to essentially keep prioritizing recovery as much as possible. I think I'm just still recovering from whatever was wrong with me last week, because like I say, my energy levels are not normal for me anyway. And to be fair, my body weight is also flying off. So I think that is also part of it. Like my body weight is falling off really quickly. And the fact that I was 85.3 today is a little bit crazy. Like I say, though, I do expect it to probably shoot up a little bit tomorrow. And I'll probably fluctuate a little bit higher than that for a bit, but is what it is, not stressed. I know what to expect. And I think it's just one of those sessions that wasn't the best, but it also wasn't terrible. Like it could have been a lot worse than it was. I think I'm very surprised my squats felt as like rough as they did. But again, it was just one of those sessions. It doesn't mean that Saturday's session isn't going to go well. I think I just need to make sure I really fuel as well as possible for Saturday's session. And that's kind of all I can do. But like I say, I think Friday night I'll probably have a decent dinner, maybe, I don't know, probably have a decent dinner, fairly high carb. And then Saturday morning, I will have a good breakfast, pre-workout meal, and training good time, because I definitely think I feel better training a little bit earlier. I will say as well, I definitely feel better squatting after a good amount of steps. So I need to make sure that Saturday morning after my breakfast, I go for a walk, get some steps in, and then have my pre-workout snack and then train. Because the last couple of weekends I've not done that, and my squats have definitely, like, even though today didn't feel strong and my movement pattern was a little bit off on my first set, my hips and everything definitely felt better having walked quite a bit today. So I need to remember to do that as well. But yeah, that's all I have to say, guys. Not the session we wanted, but nothing to cry about, nothing to stress over. I'm just going to move on to the next one, and I'll just evaluate at the end of the block before I kind of officially write up the next one, because I already have a rough plan, obviously. But yeah, is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Thank you very much if you made it to the end. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in a few days for the next one.
They trying their luck, trying. They really wanna be the one she loves, but there she goes breaking all of these hearts. Can't see